Hello and welcome to Talking Leeds with me, Aaron, and as always, Mr. George Bearded Peacock himself, the man, the moment, the Jesus. He is here. Good evening, George. How are you, sir?
Well, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good middle of the night, good morning. Whatever time you're listening to this, whatever time, I hope you've had a good day or just waking up to a good day. What a way to wake up with me and Aaron in your ears or in your eyes or whatever. I don't know. But I'm doing okay. Thank you. How are you? The sun is out. It's beaming. It has been for a few days now, hasn't it?
Yeah, the sun is shining. We've got Burnley tomorrow night. And yeah, the season, the running is officially upon us, George, isn't it? It's the running time.
It definitely is. And, I really do like football. But you know what? When somebody enters Burnley, they can get lost, Burnley, what a dull place, what a dull team, what a bad team.
Well, yeah, the manager today, Scotty Parker, has left the building. So there you go. Let's just jump into the comments. Good evening.
I hope Scotty Parker is okay.
I'm sure he will, but listen, he's gonna be fine. He'll get a new job. He's fine. Michael, good evening to you. Good evening, Jimbo. Clive is straight in. We'll finish the season on 50 points. Draw versus Brighton and win. He's dreaming there. I don't want to touch too much on the cup game, George, because I know that me and Jerry have talked about that already. But
yeah,
obviously, another defeat at Wembley for Leeds. I was there. You was watching on TV. I don't really want to talk about it, if I'm being honest. What I will say in regards to the semi-final at Wembley is I didn't get my scarf.
And I heard about...
That's the end of that.
I heard about that, Aaron. A sour taste for everybody not getting a scarf. A defeat at Wembley. Another goalless trip to Wembley. So, like you said, we don't need to speak about it. It was a novelty game in the end. It didn't go our way. We don't lose any sleep over it, really. It's now back to the bread and butter. We really do need to put this to bed once and for all and beat Burnley tomorrow night. And I feel like...
And that's the big one, isn't it? Because, obviously, Burnley tomorrow, we can move on, 43 points. Pretty much guarantee survival if we win that on tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. Of course it does, mate. I mean, I think if you can... I've seen a few things. We're on 40 points. Well, Newcastle are only ahead of us on 2 more points. If we jump ahead of them, if we win tomorrow night. So surely if we're still involved and people are cacking the pants, then Newcastle are surely involved as well. And my brother is going to have to be cacking his pants as well. So, I don't believe we're in it. I think we will win this game tomorrow night. People have started to get a bit jittery because Scott Parker has gone. Who cares? They're absolutely crap. They haven't won a game for they've won one game in like 25 games or something like that. They're absolutely rubbish. If we can, we're 20 points ahead of them, and we're only something like four places in the table ahead of them. And they've only won a handful of games all year. One of them was against us at Turf Moor. Look, go and avenge that defeat, because that was piss poor that day at Turf Moor. It really, really was. And excuse my French, touching cloth, George. Yes, I was just a bit earlier on. So, we needed to rectify that. But yeah, I think, look, I think, we need to get them back for that result at Turf Moor. We were not good enough that day, but ultimately we're in a good vein of form, regardless of the cup defeat. I think, catching back on from the Bournemouth draw, I think we go there at Ellen Road is the key thing, really, Aaron.
Yeah, and before I go on, because we're going to look at the running in a little bit more detail, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. Forget the likes. We want the subscribes, don't we, George? If you are watching on the Bearded Peacock channel, go onto YouTube and just hit that bell for Talking Leeds. We're only 13 subscribers away from the magic 500, George. We want to get that, so please do smash the bell
Yeah, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it, Aaron,
right. We want to get to 500, and if we get to 500, George is going to do a watch along.
Yeah, exactly. Realist will be happy. Will. It might be done, but
we will only do the watch along together for West Ham in the final game of the season. And George,
I mean, that would be good, Aaron. That would be good
because he'll be kicking off.
Anyway. He will. So I know it's just finished work. What do you do for work, Realist? That's a question, isn't it?
I think you're going off task, George. Let's keep it real. So smash that bell and give us a like. Right. Okay. Let's go into the running then, George, because I just want to touch on the 4 games which Leeds have got. And obviously, there's still a lot of pundits going out saying, Spurs will get this and West Ham will get that. But let's just think of this from a Leeds perspective, first of all, because destiny is in our own hands. We don't need to worry on other results. I just want to touch on the 4 games which Leeds have got. And I just want to get a couple of predictions from you, George, of how you see the season ending. We're currently on 40 points. Obviously, Leeds have got Burnley tomorrow under the lights at Ellen Road, the penultimate home game of the season, because we've got 2 home games and 2 away games. Burnley at home, Spurs away, Brighton at home on the last home game of the season, and then West Ham away. 3 of those teams are currently below us in the league. Brighton potentially pushing for European football. How do you see the points tally come the end of the season? And I'm really interested in what people in the comments think as well. So do get involved in the comment section for how you see these games going. How many points do you think we're going to get? So let's look at the Burnley game first of all. John, I know we'll predict it a little bit later on. How do you see that one going?
The Burnley game. Look, we're gonna smash them. Yeah, we're gonna win that game on Friday night. Surely, I think under the lights, like you said, it's a different animal. Ellen Road. We've had a little bit of a dip in form in those night games. We did have a really, really good spell of undefeated games under the lights, didn't we, this season? But I think Burnley. Like I said, everybody's getting a little bit jittery because of sacked the manager, and Daniel won't know what to think. But he's not just come into the job, has he? You look for all sorts of different outlet. You pivot and you say, right, okay, he's gone. What next? You can't really change a great deal in the space of a day. So to me, that even puts them even worse. I think we're going to absolutely bulldoze them.
Obviously, Scott Parker's gone. I think it's his assistant, Michael Jackson, I believe, is in charge. Is it Michael Jackson? I don't know. It's going to be a thriller. Yeah, we might be in for a thriller.
There you go. I think Michael Jackson has obviously been there before. I don't think anybody's made that Michael Jackson joke on Twitter. I haven't seen anything. I'm only kidding. It's been all over the place.
That deserves a like and a subscribe for that. Just for that.
Well, Michael Jackson, and he did a good job, I think, before a few years ago while they were, I think they were relegated or near relegation. I'm not sure, but I think, look, we'll beat them tomorrow night. I don't think Jackson won't be prepared enough. Maybe they'll have a little bit of a G up. Maybe some of the players will be disappointed that Park was left. I don't know.
Well, maybe because they're just that bad.
Exactly. Is it a dangerous?
Is it dangerous?
Aaron, I don't know.
Will their owners in Chicago be kicking off?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's
either black or white, isn't it? The Burnley at the moment.
It's one of the two. What will they do? Look, I mean, I think they need more than Michael Jackson's help. The resurrection of Michael Jackson.
They don't stop until you get enough at Burnley. If I'm being honest,
absolutely, that's it, isn't it? But I think they do need more than the resurrection of him.
I've got another. I think Burnley fans, they don't care about us because they're relegated.
Yes, of course they don't. Well, absolutely. I mean, you could go on and on and on. I mean, just on a side note, what is everybody's favorite Michael Jackson song?
Hang on, wait a minute. I've got another. Want to be starting something here, George?
Yes, well, there you go. I mean, absolutely. I mean,
maybe the Burnley fans come tomorrow at 10 will want Scotty Parker back by saying, I want you back. There you go. Who knows? Right, that's enough of the Michael Jackson jokes.
Yes.
But yeah, so we're going straight into it, George, of where we think we're going. So Burnley think we're going to win. Spurs away, what do you see with that one?
But
I think that's going to be a tough one.
Which one? Spurs away.
I think that's tough.
I don't think so. No,
it's London, isn't it? It's London.
I think. Look, we've got 3 games against teams who are in and around us. Clive says 2-1 the Leeds versus Spuds. Michael says apparently new Burnley manager Billy Jean. Daniel Shirley what they want to be beaten twice in a row from an interim manager. Yeah, look. Spurs away. I think if we win on Friday, if we win tomorrow, again, it's a bit like the scenario of Wolves at home and Bournemouth away, isn't it? If we win tomorrow, probably a point away at Spurs is okay. And I'd say we probably do get a point at Spurs. Spurs are awful, really. I know they won the other day, but they weren't the best, apparently, and they were lucky to get away with 3 points. And Spurs will probably lose, Liam, against Villa. You would have said so. So that, if we win, we're pretty much safe. They've got 3 games.
So you've got 2. So are you going for a Spurs win then?
No, I'm going for a win against Burnley, a draw against Tottenham, I think.
Okay. Brighton at home.
Now, anybody in the chat, I would love tickets for this game, but I really would enjoy tickets for this one. So anybody in the chat, anybody who can help me.
Come on, give us what's Brighton away. Brighton at home.
Brighton at home, Albion. I think we'll probably lose.
And then West Ham away.
I think we might draw.
Okay. So that puts us on 45 points?
Yeah, 5 points for the remaining 4. That's probably okay, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I think for me, I'd take 4 points from those. I think I look at the last game of the season and we don't want to be going down there needing something. We just want to get this wrapped up. Burnley are down, as you say. Can you remember the time when we beat them in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't
remember the time because that's the last time we beat Burnley at home.
No, it was
3-1.
Stuart Dallas and Dan James, I think, got goals early in 2022, January time, I think. And I think, I do remember that. The time before, I think we beat them as well at Ellen Road.
We've got a good record. We generally have, other than last season.
Last season was a couple of balls.
If you remember when we played them last year, they were absolutely crap. And they just sat behind the ball for pretty much 80 minutes.
Well, that's what Scott Parker is, wasn't he, really?
Yeah, so it's like obviously with the Chelsea game, and when I was obviously down at Wembley, and it's like the Chelsea game, the Leeds just didn't turn up, and the shackles had been released from the Chelsea superstars. And who knows, Kyle Walker might have another blinder tomorrow. But you never know. Listen, and then obviously, can I just give you mine quickly? I can see us beating Burnley. I can see us drawing with Spurs. I think if we're going to do anything against Brighton, I think it'd be a draw. It's last game of the season, lots of momentum, etc. And then West Ham, depending on what Spurs do, and we're technically safe by then, I'd be quite happy to lose to them if it relegated Spurs. I think that last game of the season has got so much running on it, and I can see it going down to the final game with West Ham, Spurs as well. So it's going to be an interesting running. I think it's going to be an exciting relegation running because obviously Spurs need points. West Ham, Forest are not out of it yet. Obviously, we need a couple more to kind of guarantee it. But yeah, listen, win tomorrow and it's pretty much done, isn't it? You've got to.
I think, Michael says, I'm looking very cultured with my neutral. I know other Michael Gottsy put coming up a bit further up about my hair as well. So thank you, lads, for that. Yes, a new trim goes well with the nice sunny weather that we're having at the moment as well. But yes, I do believe that 5 will be enough, Aaron. And
I'm going to go 2 less. I think 3. I think 43 will be enough.
I think we're on. I think we go 43 tomorrow. Then they've got 9 to play for Spurs in the last place of relegation.
Yeah,
I think you'd say they're probably going to lose to Villa. That puts them pretty much.
Should I tell you what, this whole Villa loss to Villa thing? You know, they're playing tonight, and we're going to do top off flop in a minute. And I've dedicated the top off flop to the 99-2000 season when Leeds were last in the UEFA Cup. When we reached the semi-finals. I think it's probably the best time for Spurs who are playing Villa because, you know, Villa will want to concentrate, I feel, now on the Europa League because they want to win a trophy. And if you're going to play Villa, it's probably the best time to do it because he might rotate things. You just don't know. It depends on how tonight goes, really. Against Forest.
Yeah, no, I agree. But then there's Forest still in the mix for relegation. Although they're looking really good now, aren't they? Obviously, they pumped Burnley, then they pumped Sunderland, and you're thinking, well, okay, they've probably got the momentum to keep it high and maybe even finish above us. I think they're only a point behind us, aren't they now? So, look, you know, if like I said at the top, if we're still in it and people are still losing the pants over it, then Newcastle are probably in it as well because they're in poor form. They're only 2 points ahead. If we beat Burnley tomorrow, we're ahead of them and we move up to 14th. So I think tomorrow's a big one. Get it done early, lads. Don't be jittery. You know, put that FA Cup debacle to bed. They weren't good enough on the day, and just say, right, we're staying up here. Pump 3-4-0, whatever. They're already down. And just get on with it.
While they're on the beach, you know, they've got a new manager there. There's a lot.
I don't even think they've won. I don't know when the last time they won a game of football in the Premier League was, Aaron. But it was a while ago. They're not won in about probably 10. I know they've sacked their manager, but who cares? They're down. You know, they're down and done.
Those teams are the most difficult to play against. I just want to touch on this. What Michael says is Spurs won the last game. What scares me, George, he says, is that they are coming in with a win streak. And apparently Spurs as well. I didn't watch this one. Liam says Spurs were lucky to beat Wolves. So, yeah, listen, there's a lot of ifs and buts and whatnot with this, but destiny's in Leeds' hands. What, are we 6 points clear of Spurs?
We're 6 points clear at the moment. Look, we have the good, you know, the good fortune of playing before Spurs play on Saturday. If we win, it's pretty much done. Only on goal difference. Spurs, and we play Spurs the week afterward, next weekend, isn't it? The weekend after this.
So the pressure is completely on them.
If we win tomorrow, the pressure is there for Spurs. If they get beat heavy, I know Villa play tonight, and there could be a little bit of change-a-roo with the team, but Villa are a good side. Away at Villa Park, difficult game to go to. They need to win, otherwise they're dead. Because if we win, they know that, and it's not even us they need to catch, to be fair. They you know, they're not dead if we win. We're just safe. But they're battling it out with West Ham, really, aren't they? I don't know what their final games are.
George Aaron says, Michael, do you think Burnley will get a new manager bounce? Listen, I don't think they will because it's the same. The problem is they've just appointed Michael Jackson, who was Parker's assistant. They've just got rid of the manager. You know, the coaching staff is exactly the same. You would imagine the prep for the game, which the players have done, is probably still the same. Nothing's really going to change because it happens so quickly. I don't think anything's going to change. I think they'll be set up the same whether we're Parker in charge or not. But I don't think they'll get a new manager bounce. They're relegated. They need to have a major reset.
I mean, they've been really poor. It does still hurt me, that game in September or whatever it was at Turf Moor, because we were awful.
Ellen Road.
At Turf Moor earlier on in the season. It just, you know, it just still frustrates me because they're such a poor team, you know, and it was tossed points away.
But that game, I always go back to that game, and it was an accident. It was not an accident. It was a mistake. I think was it Solomon who slipped? Somebody slipped over when they were going for the ball and just straight in. It wasn't a, you know. And then the 0-0 draw, which we got at Turf Moor last season, was just like a game of chess. Nobody really wanted anything from it. Nobody wanted to win. Nobody wanted to lose.
I'm talking about this season, mate. At Turf.
Sorry. Yeah, this. Well, that's just Port. These were Port then, weren't we? We were crap. We were crap, and then it took, you know, Farker to change it. The City game. I think did we play City when it was anyway.
No, it was way before that.
Was it way before then? November
I think it was September we played.
I think it was just a poor performance.
It was awful. But they haven't won. I mean, they won. I think it was February the last time they won. They won away at Palace. I think that was the last one they won. Right. So I mean, if we
Palace back then were crap as well, but
if we can't beat them at our own spot where we're generally good at, then we deserve to go down. To be fair, they're really poor. They're already gone. And we just need to stick the knife in from early on. Don't give them any joy. Just go straight for them and say, right, you're not getting anything from this. We're going to secure our safety and get into the Premier League for finally, because it felt like Wednesday, the last week was a great point, and you thought, great, we're probably safe now. What happens then? The rest of them win as well. So every time, just tick the games off. No need to panic. Just do your job. Beat them, and it's a comfortable game to play. And I know you said these teams are dangerous. I disagree. We played Wolves a couple of weeks ago, and we absolutely wiped the floor with them. So, we need to do the same with Burnley here.
Yeah, good stuff. Right, excellent. Right, it's time for this. It's your favourite feature, George. Well, hang on. What's going on here? What's going on here? Top or flop? Don't know what happened there. Top or flop? Right. As I said earlier in the show, George, I've picked the 1999-2000 season for Leeds. Leeds finished third this season in the Premier League. They reached the 5th round of the FA Cup, the 4th round of the League Cup, and we got to the UEFA Cup semi-final, and we got knocked out by Galatasaray in the semi-final. And I've got some players, George, from this season for you to decide if they were top or a flop for Leeds. Are you ready?
Yes.
You don't know these. This is the beauty of this one. There could be some top players, Clive, but there could be a flop. It's up to us to decide. And if you want to get involved in the comments, if they are a top or a flop, then you can. Right, the first one on my list, Mr. Brook, is Jason Wilcox. Jason Wilcox joined us from Blackburn Rovers, where at Blackburn he made 271 appearances, scored 31 goals. For Leeds, he was with us for 5 seasons, 81 appearances and 4 goals, and joined Leicester. Had a loan spell at Blackpool. And then finished his career there. 3 caps for England as well. Jason Wilcox, Mr. Brook, what do you think to that one?
Yeah, I don't even remember him playing for England, I don't think.
Left-sided midfielder.
When did he play for England?
He won his first cap for England in 1996. I think a win over Hungary.
Oh, okay. I difficult one, isn't it? I think I'm going to say a top player. Wilcox is one I remember playing for us, but no thrills, no spills. Just a steady player. Really didn't score that many. Like I said, 4 goals over the 5 years. He was a staple player in there. Obviously, like I said, wasn't the glitz and the glam of the team. But he did a job in the middle with Batty and whatnot at the time, and for me, you'd have to say it was edging on the side of a poor top player. But you're gonna, because there's no in the middle, it's got to be top really.
We don't do. I'm afraid, Michael. But okay, it's top or flop.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly my thoughts. Exactly, it's something okay, but obviously we can't. So I'm going to go with top. I think he was a top player.
Yeah, he could cross the ball as well, says Liam there.
He could.
Harry Kewell's backup mainly as well. I'd say we're a top player. I can remember him. He just did a good job, didn't we? And it is a tough one. That really says he's a top player as well. Top because Wilcox was part of the device versus the he was.
He's a sporting director or something like that. He was at City, wasn't he, as well? Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah, he's down there now. So
he's a Manc boy, isn't he? He's a Manchester boy.
He is. He's a Lancashire guy, but we'll say top player. Okay. Right, next one, George, is Darren Huckabee. Darren Huckabee started his career at Lincoln City, joined Leeds in 1999, only had one season with us, 40 appearances, 2 goals. Then joined Manchester City, had a couple of loan spells. Joined Norwich City and ended his playing career at San Jose Earthquakes. 2 goals for Leeds in his single stint. I think we bought it for about £6 million as well in this one. What do you think to this one then, George? Darren Huckabee.
Yeah, he was a flop player. I think it was a shame because at the time, we had all these riches and fabulous players coming through the door, and Huckabee was a bit part player. He was never going to play much. He had a lot of injury issues, and I think he played
injury. He played 40 times for us in the season. That's good going, that.
But is that overall? That's not in the Premier League.
Overall,
the Champions League as well, you've got to say, and all the other.
Yeah, he did score against Partizan Belgrade in the UEFA Cup, and in a 6-0 demolition of Besiktas in the Champions League. So
I mean, he wasn't bad. He wasn't a bad player. He just, again, the goes of a top player, a flop player. You got to say he was a flop player. He only played a season. Wasn't really anything special to write home about, but he was competing with some really, really good players for those.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And, it was back in the day where we were. We had a stacked squad in that department, and in all departments really. So he was part of the second fiddle team, wasn't he? Really, that if a lot of them were injured, you'd throw him on for the last 10 minutes or whatever. So
he did all right at Coventry, 94 appearances and 28
goals. Was that before he came?
Before Leeds, absolutely. I'd agree. Like he was a flop. He did. Michael came from Coventry. Let's have a look. God, Liam B says flop. I don't remember him. He was with us. Michael says flop. Michael says flop. We played top, middle, or bottom games. No, not that one. Is that what's that called? What's it called now? Strike It Lucky with Michael Barrymore. No, we're not doing that. Jim
I don't think anybody wants to strike it lucky with him.
Right, next one. Up on this one. On this one, George, is, I don't know if you can remember this one, but David Hopkin. David Hopkin joined Leeds in 1997, left Leeds in 2000, made 73 appearances, scoring 6 goals, and then moved to Bradford City in 2000 to 2001. Then joined Crystal Palace for a year, and then he finished his playing career at Greenock Morton. Made 7 appearances for Scotland and scored 2 goals. He was also became a manager at Livingston. He managed Bradford City in 2018-19, Greenock Morton again, and then I don't think he's managing now, but his last managerial appointment was at Ayr United up in Scotland. So Hopkin, David Hopkin, George.
He was Irish, was he? Or
he was Scottish.
Scottish, like ginger hair.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't. How many times did he play in this season?
Well, this season, I'm not sure. I'm only going off his Wikipedia. 73 appearances and 6 goals in 3 years.
I don't really, because I was obviously very young in this season, but you do remember names like Wilcox, Huckabee, and all this. Right? Yeah. I know of Hopkins, but I don't. He was ginger. I thought he was Clive. I can picture him in my mind, but I don't know. I'm going to say flop just because I can't remember him really playing it. Again, another bit part player. We've got all these riches and wonders, Aaron, and you're picking out some really average players at this time. But
you never know. Go. Next, Michael says flop. Flop, not sure. Didn't stand out in games. Yeah, completely. No front teeth. Says realistic. I guess that's Clive, but another who was kind of average. He was no front teeth as well. So, I'd say a flop as well. I didn't really do much. Right, next one, George, is Stephen McPhail. Stephen McPhail joined Leeds. He was from the Youth Academy. It was left us in 2004 when he got relegated from the Premier League. Went to Millwall on loan whilst at Leeds and had a loan spell at Forest. Moved to Barnsley. Made 73 appearances, scored 4 goals. The biggest stint for McPhail was he moved back down to Cardiff. It was there from 2006 to 2013. 190 appearances for them 3 goals. Then had a spell at Sheffield Wednesday, and then did I spell it? Shamrock Rovers, and he made 10 appearances for the Republic of Ireland. For Leeds, 78 appearances and 3 goals. Stephen McPhail, George, what do you think about him?
Well, he came through the academy, did he not?
Yeah.
And I believe, again, it's another player. I mean, Clive said it up here, I think, a bit further up. You know, none of them were spectacular at Leeds, these players you're mentioning now, Aaron. And I think he would have to fall in the same category. I think he was all right, wasn't he? He played his part, but again, he was a bit part player for the time he was there. And I've got to say again, I mean, you know, Liam said he was top, was a good midfielder. You know, I think he was a good player on his day, but again, I don't think he deserves to go in the top players. I'm going to have to put him in the flop.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It was quite heavily, I know in this season, but it wasn't this season, but it was quite heavily involved in the Champions League, if I remember. And the run to that. He scored his first goal for Leeds against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I don't know if you've seen the clip of that one.
I've seen that one. We're wearing the yellow.
I would say it was a top player for us with Stephen McPhail. Always coming in, did a job.
Again, he did, but again, does that say he's a top? You know, all these lads that you mentioned, the 4 of them now, I think that they've all been, you know, sort of here and there. You know, all of them could go in either section, so it's a difficult one to determine, really. But really says top. You know, Clive says depends how you define a top or flop. Yeah, for me,
were they a top player or a flop player? It's written on the side there.
I know, but it's blurred lines, isn't it? This one, and I think I'm going to put it in flop because I just yeah.
God, okay. Can we have a flop and a top flop? No, it's top or flop. George is saying flop. I'm going to say top. So we've disagreed on this one. Really says he was top. He was closer to top than a flop.
He might have been.
McPhail says Jimbo is tough. Should have been top, but injuries made him flop. Yeah, he was. Yeah, a lot of injuries. Can we have flop and a top flop? No, we've told you that. Michael says top as well. Okay, right. Next one. This one's a controversial one, George. I'm interested to see on this one. Harry Kewell is the next one. Harry Kewell started his career with us, 96. He joined us and he left us in 2003 for Liverpool. For Leeds, he made 181 appearances and scored 45 goals. For Liverpool, 93 appearances and 12 goals. He then famously joined Galatasaray in 2008, where he made 63 appearances and scored 22. Went back over to Australia and joined Melbourne Victory, where he made 25 appearances and scored 8 goals. Here's another one I've never heard of, but it's Qatari Al Gharafa SC. He had a season, I think he did half a season there, and made 3 appearances, scored once, and then joined Melbourne Heart after that. Harry Kewell, George, I know this one's a controversial one, but would you say he was a top player or a flop?
Well, yeah, he coached at Celtic. He did all sorts of, relegation with.
Wasn't he married to her from Emmerdale?
Yeah, he was. She went on Big Brother, didn't she?
Is that
he used to live now famously? Now, well, I know he's a controversial character.
He was,
and I won't give the location away, but he did live up the top of the road from where I do live, Aaron. He was living close by when he played for Leeds. He was living in the same area. So, he was married to what's her name from there. She went on Big Brother. He was a top player. There's no disputing it. That's why people also with it being the team that he went to well, they was that stung a lot only because of that, obviously, which you don't do that as a Leeds United player. But I think because he was such a good player as well, it kind of hurt that bit more a little bit as well.
I think the way I view this, and I've been thinking about this, all afternoon when I think about this, I think for Leeds, his footballing ability was very, very good. But I think the way he left Leeds, obviously he left Leeds when there was the financial turmoil, of course. And then obviously he joined Galatasaray, which made him, with his career path, which he was doing. And yet leaving for just £5 million. But I don't think that was his fault, Clive. He left Leeds because he had to be sold at that time. But I think the way he left and the way, this is what Liam says here, I completely agree with him. The way he left and his egoism around him made him become a flop for me.
See,
and if he'd have gone the right way about it, I think, you know, it could have ended differently for him. And I think Leeds fans, I'm sure if he could relive it, you know, do it all differently. But, you know, just what he did and his ego just made him a bit shit.
I think you're right. Look, and the thing is, he didn't even go straight from Leeds to Galatasaray.
He went to Liverpool. Yeah.
He went before we got relegated, didn't he? He went after we stayed up. He wasn't there for the relegation season, was he?
No.
So he'd already gone in that summer before that season.
But it was before, you know, if you remember back in 2003 when we just pretty much stayed up, we had to have this quick fire of players selling them because we were absolutely financially screwed because we gambled on Champions League and football and all that sort of stuff. So the way he left was probably not his fault. It was the board's fault. And they needed cash.
But the thing was, Aaron, he didn't have to then go on to play for Galatasaray because he knew of the rival. He was playing in that game. So what
I know he does, but
what gives him that? Oh yeah, that'd be a great idea. Why? I know it's not all about. He can't be governed on his career just because whether he's hated by a certain member of a fan base or not. He has to do what's right for his career. But there's some kind of humanity that would say, actually, that's the wrong decision to do.
And that's that's the point I'm making. I think it was his ego which got the better of him. For me, whilst he was, because of that, I would stick him in the flop category because he was the way his career progressed, which was a bit of a flop, really. And then, as you can see, his career fizzled out after that, and it could have gone on for much longer. You just don't know. But yeah, for me, it's a flop. I don't know. Go on, top or flop?
Take away all of that, and if you go on the football and ability and what he did for Leeds, he's got to be a top player, hasn't he? He was, he was a great on the field for Leeds United. Well, he played for Leeds United before everything went on, before he went to play for them, before he did any of that. He was a really good player. He came through the academy. I always remember my dad saying, "Cool Jewel." He really liked Cool as a player, and it was just a shame the way that it went. My brother is a Liverpool fan. My twin brother, Liverpool fan. He remembers him quite well. I think as his time at Liverpool, obviously won the Champions League with them. But it's difficult. But I would say purely based on what he did for Leeds and the footballing ability when he was wearing the shirt of Leeds United, I would have to put him in the top player. Yeah.
Okay. It's really interesting because there's a lot of comments coming on this one, which is great. Jimbo says, don't even talk about this man. Don't talk about him. Top. The way he left, he became a flop because he played for Galatasaray. I completely agree. Left for £5 million. That was his song. But again, like I said, Clive, I think it was the board's decision, not him personally. No humbleness about him. Neil says, apart from the Galatasaray, I think definitely a top for me. Who else have we got? He best winger, left winger in the league at Leeds, in my opinion, says Clive. And he married her from Emmerdale. Sherry Murphy. I don't know if he's still married to her. Who knows? Who cares? In fact, who cares?
Nobody cares about that.
And then he knew the meaning of playing for Leeds. No Turkish teams. Yeah. Oh yes. Can you remember this? Remember this song? Oh.
I don't remember it, actually.
I can remember this, and I was only a child at the time, but we're not going to say it because we're on YouTube. But yeah, there we go. Right, I've got one more for you because we're tied here with the top and flop. And again, it's another controversial character for you, George. This one. Alan Smith. Here we go. 1998, he joined Leeds and left Leeds in 2004. He made 172 appearances for Leeds, scoring 38 goals. Then he joined Manchester United from 2004 to 2007, then joined Newcastle. Manchester United, he played 61 times, scored 7 goals. Bizarrely, when he moved to Newcastle, George, he made 84 appearances for them. didn't score a goal. And a loan spell at MK Dons, then joined MK Dons, and then he finished his playing career at Notts County. He made 19 appearances for England, scoring once. Alan Smith, again, another controversial player, which is in top or flop this week. But what do you think to this one, top or a flop?
Well, I remember that England goal he scored at Old Trafford, wasn't it? And he said, and the commentary said, because it was laid on by Bowyer, and I remember him saying, "Made in Leeds," that goal. Yeah. And I can't remember who they were playing, who knows, but he didn't play that many. Look, Smudger Smith, for me, I can't put him anywhere near the flop. For me, he was a top player. He was my favourite player.
He was when I was growing up. He was the one who you had on the back of your shirt. I can remember, the Strongbow, the Nike, that the big baggy thing. I can remember having Smith 17 on the back, buying it from JJB and Keithley. JJB Sports with
exactly. He was the best. Viduka was the best man of those pairing, but we all loved Smith because he was the local man. He was a local boy. He was doing it good. He was playing in the Champions League, kissing the badge and all that, and
crying when we got relegated. All
that picture of Robinson, and he's in that Bolton kit, is Smith, and he's consoling him. And for me, Smith, I will not hear it any other way. He was a top player for Leeds. Obviously, we're of a similar age or a little bit older than me, Aaron, but he grew up in the similar kind of era of Leeds. And I was the same. I didn't have the shirt, but he was my favourite player. I remember my dad when he come to my dad's work one time, and I think my dad obviously told him, I'm a big Leeds fan. So he got his autograph for me. He scribbled it down. All the best, George. Alan Smith, and that was, he was my best. He was my favourite player, mate. I can't, it didn't hurt me like some people did when he left Man United.
So go on then. So you saying a top?
He was a top player, mate. I won't hear it any other way.
Top. I think the dust has settled now with him joining Manchester United. And I know people go, "Oh, he joined Scum, this, that, and the other." But ultimately, he had no choice. He had to do it when we were relegated, and it was a financial, problem which we needed to solve. It was the board. He probably wouldn't have gone there if he didn't have a chance, but a choice. Sorry, but
look, he'd have gone somewhere else if he had a choice. Aaron, he wouldn't have gone there. He actually did the club a favour. They were the highest bidders. So that's what people don't see, and people now know the full story. I once tried to get Smithy on my show, and
did you get him?
No, but it was this close.
Is that close?
It was like that keeper the other week. It was this close to getting it. I was, I had.
It was that close, like Leeds scoring a goal at Wembley. Was that
yes, at Wembley, yes, but no, that's what it is. And I was talking to his representatives a bit, but he didn't want to do it, so that was fair enough. Yeah. I think he said I think he has been on Man United podcasts and stuff before, but I think. Hopefully the dust will settle now. I mean, it was 23 years ago, something like that. Yeah. So, people.
I don't know where he is these days. You don't hear of him now. Is he?
Well, he's in America, isn't he? He's got some kind of soccer school, football school in America, and he doesn't. I mean, he's a bit like Batty, isn't he? He doesn't want to know about it really. I think he plays a lot of golf.
Oh, here we go. He lives in Orlando. It's a nice place to live. Working with male and female youngsters as a coach, the Excel Soccer World Academy.
Yeah, see, he doesn't. But that's probably a very low level of coaching, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's basically a PE teacher.
Basically, yeah, he is really, isn't he? He's just sounds fancy because it's in America.
Right. So we're both saying top. Right. Let's have a look at the comments. Michael says top. Clive says top at Leeds, especially good in Europe. He was poop elsewhere. Top all the way, says Liam. Leaving Leeds wasn't down to him. Thomas Brolin definitely flopped out. He was like vacuum cleaners. Smith was better for Leeds in Europe, which he done domestically. Yeah, agree. Smith would have stayed at Leeds if we hadn't been relegated. And Smith, flop. He had the chance to go to Newcastle. If you'd done that, he would have been different. We never forget. Defo flop, says there you go. Interesting. So that was your top or flop for this week, John. Top or flop? Double Flop will be back next week. Right then, Georgie boy, we've got any news from this week? No real news, is there? No, really. We've got a couple of injuries. There's no real news, is there?
I think there's a couple of injuries. Gabby Goodmunson has eaten too much birthday cake, Aaron, and he's ruling. I think he's out of the game. I think it was his birthday yesterday. Yeah. So, but he's not available. I think there's a couple others. Okafor is apparently a little bit in, but he's, I don't know. And there was another one, I think, maybe, but I think we know the score now. If Goodmunson's out, Justin just plays, doesn't he, on the left-hand side? Bogle on the right. It's an easy fix. You don't need to really do much else. Justin's a really solid backup to him. And then, if Okafor's out, probably in the Mecha, but you'd have thought that's okay for the level of team that we're playing.
Yeah,
and we only need, we need Calvert-Lewin to be firing a little bit. And then, then we're okay. We should have enough for this tomorrow night. He said it was a hamstring. It was a bad one. So
he was playing through it at Wembley, if I remember. He looked
he might not see him for the rest of the season, I don't think. But that's okay. If we get through tomorrow night's game with a win, and he's a really good player, isn't he? But we just need to get through tomorrow, get a win. And if he don't play for the rest of the season, that's fine. Justin is more than capable to fill in for him. So, yeah.
So go on then. So I know we touched about this right at the start of the show. How do you give us your prediction for this one?
I think we'll see a similar situation to the Wolves game, Aaron. I think we'll see Leeds go straight for them. There'll be no dilly-dallying. We'll be straight at it. No faffing about with the ball. Quick tempo football, get it straight to into their final third and get a few goals. I think we will win.
Okay.
I think we will win 4-0.
Bloody hell, you've changed your tune.
No,
you've changed your tune.
I said we would beat them heavily. I think we will beat them heavily.
Wow.
Because I think Leeds will just have, the bit between the teeth and know that really that win tomorrow will keep them safe for another season in the Premier League. That's incentives for them, as much as anything. They'll get a pay rise, whatever. So, it's just a bit of an incentive. Calvin is I don't know what that comment is, Liam, but there you go.
I think it means Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Oh, possibly, yeah, okay. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin, yeah. So, I don't see in an alternative universe, Leeds lose this game, but it's not in this reality. I don't think Leeds will lose this game. I think we've got the crowd will push them on. They'll want to see reaction from Sunday's game at Wembley. They know that with nearly there, 3 points are so precious that we'll see us safe once and for all, I believe. So, let's just go out and do it.
I just want to touch what Clive says. Leeds 3-1, but would love a 4 or 5-0 to move up 2 places, which is possible.
Yes, of course it is. If we can get a heavy scoreline, we'll move above Palace for the time being as well. So
we would. It'd be nice to get a heavy win, but I think it's going to be tough. This I don't think, and I said this right at the start. I don't think this is going to be an easy 3-4-0, which people are saying, and I completely like what Liam says here. He says Farke doesn't like to humiliate teams, does he? He doesn't like it, but I could see it being a tough one. This, I think it'll be a 1-0, 2-0. I don't think it's going to be as easy. There's only one person I want to score a goal from open play, and I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin now. I think for me, he's under tremendous pressure here, George. He needs to start scoring goals.
He does.
From open play, and I think this is a golden opportunity for him to do that. Get some momentum in. Obviously, Tuchel will be looking at his World Cup squad. And I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin, if he wants to be going to America in the summer, he needs to start now scoring goals. He can't be relying on the penalty and things like that and penalty spots to get goals, but he needs to be scoring goals from open play. And I think this is a golden opportunity for him to do that. I don't know. What do you think of Dominic Calvert-Lewin? A lot of people are saying he's a player of the year.
No.
Oh, you listen to the pundits, you listen to all these so-called pundits, and Farker's work magic. He's got Dominic Calvert-Lewin firing. He hasn't really got him firing because he did it mid-season. He did, but actually, when you think of it, the grand scheme of things, he's kind of got off the radar a little bit as Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Nemecha for me is a lot stronger.
I think, maybe not Nemecha. Nemecha and Okafor have come to the fore in the fact of DCL has not been firing at all. The media seem to have this narrative of because he's English, he scored a load of goals. Well, he hadn't scored before that penalty a couple of weeks ago. He hadn't scored for ages. And he'd had this burst of, yes, he was in hot form around Christmas time, and we're all getting excited about it. But, since then, he's been rubbish, to be fair. He's not been good. He had a good game at Old Trafford, didn't he, when we won? And, he should have scored at least 2 in that game.
Yeah.
He cleared it off the line, fair enough. He cleared it off the line on that game against Wolves as well, which, it wouldn't have mattered to the scoreline really as much, but he needs to score a goal. The penalty was well taken. It was a nice penalty, and the penalty at West Ham in the FA Cup was a nice penalty as well, but you need to score a goal from open play, mate. You've had a lot of headers. Why don't you just put one in the net? It's not that hard to do from when you do it every single day of your life. For me, if he don't score any, even if he scores 1 or 2 goals, I don't think he should go to the World Cup. I think Danny Welbeck would be a better choice, to be quite honest.
Yeah, Michael says that. He says Ollie Watkins and Danny Welbeck are better strikers.
Yeah,
performing better than Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
People look at the stats and say, all right, DCL is probably one of the high-scoring English players in this season. I mean, he might be.
But the majority, a lot of them are from penalties, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. But he might be the highest. I don't know. He's got 11 goals in the Premier League. He's got 12 goals overall, empty, and a few of them have been penalties, haven't they? But people look at the stats and say, right, he needs to go to the World Cup, but no, he doesn't. Ollie Watkins hasn't scored that as many as him, I don't think. But Danny Welbeck scored about 12 or 13 or 14 goals. He's been better, and he is consistently better than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Imagine if we could get him on like a free transfer or something in one day. I know he's pushing on, but he's a bit older than DCL, isn't he? But Danny Welbeck's way better player than Calvert-Lewin, and I think he's consistently good. He's consistently good, and he keeps scoring. He's a thorn in our side every single time we play Brighton, and he will be again in a couple of weeks' time. I'm sure of it.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin has great hold-up plays, says Liam.
Yeah, but he doesn't score goals, Liam.
He's been good with his defensive duties, to be fair.
He has, but he's the wrong side of the pitch. He needs to be wrong of the pitch.
I think this is what sums him perfectly up, says realist here. Dominic Calvert does not convert enough chances to be on the international stage. He's decent, but not an Alan Shearer.
No.
And then Jimbo says, would you bring Milner back now he's out of contract? I think he's past it, Jimbo. I think he's too old. His legs are outrunning him, I'm afraid. I don't see where he fits into the squad.
This is the old adage of every time people always say, bring so-and-so back, when they're ending their career. Why? Milner, like you said, he's getting old. He's a great player, and he has been. But no.
Why? Again, it's simple. You just, as a player coach, for what? We don't need to change anything. We don't need to bring a new coach in. I see the romance of it. I really do.
Yeah, but that's all it is.
It's just romantic. It's Spoil Club. He started his career, he's going to finish career. No. I think he could have done that last year. He could have joined us in the summer, but he didn't want to.
Look, he's set with Brighton, isn't he? He'll come back to Leeds in a couple of weeks' time. And he might get wheeled out, seeing it's the end of the season. He hasn't said he's retiring, so I assume he's playing another...
The best place for him is to go over to America and get another season in the MLS or something like that.
Yeah, I think he'll keep going with Brighton. But, and Jimbo says he can play in the under-21s with Houghton. Also, we know who else is in the under-21 setup at the moment who used to play for Leeds as well.
Who?
Aaron Lennon is a coach at the under-21.
Is he?
Yeah.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, he is.
Aaron Lennon?
Yeah. Aaron Lennon is a coach at Leeds United in the under-21s or the youth setup. It might be even younger than under-21s.
Aaron Lennon?
Yeah, Aaron Lennon is a coach at Leeds.
No, he's not.
He is.
Who's told you that?
I've seen it myself.
What, you've been up to Thorpe Arch and seen it?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, with binoculars. That was me out there with the binoculars.
No, he ain't.
Yes,
Where the hell have you got that from?
He is, yeah. Under 16 and under 18s coach.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where I've been living for the last... How long has this go? When was this?
I think maybe in the summer, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, he's there as a youth coach. I didn't think it was the under-21s, to be fair. I know Johnny House. Is Johnny the manager or is he just a coach?
Apparently he's working with Housen.
Yeah, I think he is.
Aaron Lennon.
Like.
All right, go back to top off flop now. Top off flop.
Oh, he was great, Aaron Lennon. I loved Aaron
Top off flop.
He was great. Flop, top.
Right, he joined Leeds in 2003 from the youth system. 2005 made 38 appearances for Leeds, scored once, then joined Spurs for 10 years, 266 appearances, scored 26 goals. Joined Everton, I think he had a loan spell there. Burnley, came back to Leeds for a youth spell. Did he come back to Leeds for a bit?
No, he didn't.
I'm sure. Didn't he have a loan
spell? No, that was Delph.
Oh, that's fucking Delph, yeah. Aaron Lennon, top or flop?
Top. He was a top player. He came through the youth. Difficult time when we got relegated. He stayed when we got in the championship. Then he obviously went to Spurs, like you said. They love him at Spurs. He was a very speedy man, wasn't he, on the ball?
I take it all back. I didn't know. I don't know where I've heard this from, but now I do. I've learned something new every day. Anyway, Michael says Aaron Lennon is coaching the under-18s. Liam, we've got to remember it's a top or flop. We don't do middle. It's top or a flop. Lennon was excellent. Just a shame he only lasted one season. Yeah. And now he's coaching Johnny's assistant manager, Garner. Anyway, listen, fair enough. Fair play to him. I hope he does a good job. Get some kids through the door, Aaron Lennon, and get them in the first team. Have a work with Harry Gray. Sort him out. That's what he needs to be doing. Sort him out. Right, George, if you rate Lennon as top, you must feel as top. McPhail as top. No, he doesn't. George has clearly had enough because he's just frozen, and that gives us plenty of time to wrap this up. Thank you to everybody who has joined us live on YouTube. Don't forget to give us a subscribe. Hit the bell. Come on, hit the bell. You can see it there on the little screen there. And if you're listening on the podcast, thank you very much. We will see you next week for more antics on Talking Leeds. Me and Jerry will be back on Saturday with a match reaction to the Burnley game as well. So thanks to everybody. Go on, give us a share, give us a subscribe. George has buggered off because he's just got to Google Aaron Lennon. We'll see you on the next one.